Your wish has been granted.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of 3 Wishes Later, where we have the king of the top 8, Biriarr, joining us here today, and we're going to discuss a lot of things just about the competitive grind scene within Dragon Ball, his perspective, and maybe some advice to like newer players out there. He's been in this game for a long time. He has five serial Beastons to his name. Probably going to have 6 if he doesn't win an event finally. But the only next event we have is NA Finals. So hopefully he can capture the crown that he's been seeking for. How are you doing tonight, Beer? How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, buddy. I'm doing great. Just chilling. It came up after the regional yesterday. Topped again. Didn't get a 6-piece on, unfortunately, but it was pretty close. Finished 9th. Just chilling. Vibing. Glad to be here.
The man bubbled.
Bubble.
The worst position to be, the bubble.
It's okay.
But we also have the actual champion of the regional, Slug, with us here today. He won with Lord Slug this past weekend. Congrats again to you. I'm so proud of you. No one saw it coming. Tier 4 deck all the way to the top. How are you feeling about the win?
Dude, I'm feeling really good about it. I fought against some really respectable team opponents, and I piloted my deck the best I could, and the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I funnily enough, I technically didn't play the event, but I got to play the event because I had a little bit of a medical emergency early in the morning, and I didn't think I was going to be able to play at all. But the tournament organizer, the booster box, they did a fantastic job yesterday running the event. They just kind of kept me in the tournament, and I just kept reporting, my opponent gets the win, and I think it was round 4. So I got a 3rd round bye. So I got a free win. I was like, what if I just get home and then play out the rest of this event and win out? But round 4 I got paired up and I was still driving home, and so I gave them the win, and then I just played the last couple of rounds, and so I just got 2, and then someone gave me another win, and I got 2 free rounds, and I didn't win anything else. I was too tired to actually play this game effectively. But that's not the important part. What we're here to do is talk to you guys just in general about the competitive scene for Dragon Ball. So how long have you been playing this game, Beer?
I think I started between Clash of Fates and Set 6. My buddy, you guys won't know, my buddy Mario, he was collecting the game back then. We used to play Force of Will together, and he was like, hey, there's a Dragon Ball game, yada yada, and me and my other buddies were like, I don't know if we want to get into another TCG, because this and that. And then, some stuff happened personally, ended up moving back to the same town again where we all were, and he had extra cards, and me and my other buddies shared our collection. We started from there, basically, Clash of Fates, and we would make decks and stuff with the bulk cards that Mario gave us and all this other stuff, and it kind of just went from there, the deck building, the eternal format and all that, because we used to play Force Will pretty heavily, and that game also has crazy deck building strategies. So we literally translated what we learned from that game to this, and then we built upon it. But for the first few years, I wasn't really that great competitively, didn't really play in any events, and then I started playing a few regionals when they had the online regionals in COVID, but it was pretty bad. And then I started topping after. But
you got the competitive bug, and then you started kicking ass.
Yeah.
What was your first deck that you played, ever?
First ever was the blue starter deck Gogeta from Set 5. My buddy Mario gave me that one as a gift. I remember playing that against my other buddy Kevin. You won't know these guys, but those were my homeboys back then. Yeah.
I started around the same time as you, right after Clash of Fates and right as Set 6 released. And the first deck that I ever played was the Shenron starter deck. So in the same pairing, I played the Shenron and you played the Gogeta one. So what was it about Dragon Ball that kind of made you fall in love with the game itself, that pulled you away from Force of Will or any other TCG?
So that's a good question. Honestly, first of all, it's a Dragon Ball IP. I'm from the Middle East. I'm brown. You know what I mean? I'll be real with you. If especially '90s kids who were brown, bro, you're an immigrant. You were watching Dragon Ball. That's just the fact. Dragon Ball Z is it's the shit, right? So it's all right, that's already dope enough. But the deck building aspect of things, the eternal format, the combat system, the attrition based gameplay that we have, the just like when you think about it, right? Like on a high end, right? The fact that if I overcommit resources to deal damage to you, I am actually losing because I've given you a life. I've given you a card. If you just say, you know what, I'll just take that hit, right? Like, just even the fact that that is just an interaction by the core of the game, even that Fusion World even gets to do. And I know we like to meme on Fusion World, but it's still the same foundations. It's just crazy when you think about it. The high level thinking that both games honestly have in that aspect. And yes, Fusion World is simpler, but the foundation, right? The core gameplay is the same, and it's a high level gameplay loop, right? We have to really think, how do we combo? Is it worth playing this? Is it worth playing that? Do we actually just play cantrips to start and value out? Do we play big bomb here? What if they have a sparking? Because back then it wasn't until it was like sparking D magic, sparking after image, whatever, right? Like, am I really gonna tap 5 to play my triple strike or whatever boss monster, and then they're just gonna go sparking, shocking death ball, and now I just wasted all my energy, and now they're gonna get me on the crackback, right? Like those are all things, right?
Absolutely, I agree. And that's like the tough thing for me, like with online events specifically, because those particular interactions will rely a lot about your knowledge of the game, but also being able to read your opponent. So if you feel like you play those big bombs and you can get a read on your opponent and see whether or not they even have those sparking negates, you know, that mental warfare means a lot. And I definitely agree with a lot of your points there. Do you think, like, this is probably your favorite TCG, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm good. Do you think this is the best TCG, like, objectively?
Objectively the best TCG. I'll be honest. I've only mainly played like Force of Will, Dragon Ball, Magic, played a bit of Digimon and Pokemans and all that stuff, and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that, right? Honestly, I feel like it's the best TCG, but like, I'll be also honest, it's pretty close. Like Force of Will, that game also had an insane gameplay loop, and it had like really great game design too. It's tough. Like it's neck and neck, but Force of Will unfortunately died. They had too many problematic formats for a while, and the game actually just fucking died. So obviously Dragon Ball at this point is definitely better. Like both games are better. Fusion World and Masters are definitely better than Force of Will was, but it's neck and neck because that game was also pretty crazy.
Yeah, I never got a chance to play Force of Will. Austin, did you ever get to play any Force of Will?
I did not.
It's sorry to cut you off. It's basically, imagine, so you know how One Piece has the Dawn deck?
Yeah.
Force of Will, basically, you had a leader, right? You had a leader, front side and back side, kind of like Dragon Ball. But how it would work is you had a mana deck of 10 to 20 cards, and every turn you could tap your leader to put a card from your mana deck into your mana pool, right? And it wasn't just like Dawn, like how it's just basic crap. Like there were like special lands. Like there's ones that like, oh, this taps for like blue, red, or black and makes your opponent warp a card in hand, basically. Things like that. And then on the front side of your leader, it couldn't actually deal combat. You had 4,000 life points, and they would have to attack you, and then all your creatures could block, yada yada, all that stuff, and you could flip your leader over, and now your leader could also do combat as well. But now you had that cool interaction of like, okay, hold on a second. I can attack with my leader does crazy stuff, but if I attack with my leader, I miss out on my curve. So now you had to have these high level thinkings too, which is why I'm like, it's very close to Dragon Ball in that aspect. So you had like Magic stack system with Yu-Gi-Oh style monsters and like power levels, like 4,000, 5,000, etc., right? And you also had a mana deck, right? And honestly, anime titties. Like, it was like, you know,
Who doesn't love
right?
anime titties?
So it was a perfect
Exactly.
combination.
Yeah, I mean, eye candy card game, big titty anime girls, and awesome gameplay. It sounds like it was really fun. I just never really got a chance to play it. I mean, growing up, I was more of like a Magic the Gathering player, but that was only because my siblings were that was the only thing they were playing, so I didn't really know any better. I did try Yu-Gi-Oh like way back in like 2002 when it came out, but like I just never fell in love with it. Like TCGs weren't really a thing for me until I want to say after I think Dragon Ball is my first real TCG that I ever got into, because before that I was like a competitive video game player, so I was one of those types of gamers. But you know, now that I've pivoted to card games, I don't think I could go back. Like I like video games, but nothing tickles my fancy like a good TCG game.
That's fair.
What is it like? What is your so you would say like Dragon Ball and Force of Will, like the reason why they're so good is just like that skill based like gameplay where if you're good at the game, it shows because you've skilled. It's not too much of like you're playing just whatever good deck and winning.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Both games were very skill based, and that's what I enjoy. Even when it comes to video games, I'm the type of guy like I'll play games on the highest difficulty. Like I literally speedrun Sekiro just for fun. Like if it's tough, if it's difficult, that's what I go for. I like difficult games. I like difficulty.
If it's too easy, you want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I have a question that I want to pose to the two of you, kind of pivoting into like the main topic of this discussion. So from like a rogue player's perspective with Austin, and of course a more traditional meta player as you are with Beer, what do you think is the difference between the competitive mindset between a rogue player and like a traditional meta player?
That's a good question.
I will let you do the I'll let you give your mindset going into an event as a meta player.
And I just want to clarify, I'm not saying that's all Beer plays, because I know he plays literally every fucking deck in the world, but like specifically this man's been dick riding Warp Vegeta since it came out. So
I mean, so it's a tough one for me because I'll be honest, like you said, I am genuinely like I generally have like 50 decks built. I'm always building decks. Like every other day I'm building a new deck. I'm trying out different stuff, right? And I think that's part of what helps me. It's weird because even when I started doing well at events, like even back then with the Red U7 Goku, I was the first one to top with that deck. And I remember people were like, this deck looks horrible, but then in testing it's like, this deck's pretty nice. Like I've topped with like rogue decks too, like Bojack back in the day, and Green Cooler, and Cooler Mill as well, things like that. But I don't know. I mean, like what last year I had like 4 tops of Tamaku, right? But when it comes to like the meta aspect of things, it's more about the decks that are meta now are different than the decks that were meta back then, right? The reason like I'll like playing these, like people say quote unquote meta decks, but the reason these decks are meta is because they genuinely have a good matchup across the whole field, right? When I was playing Red U7 Goku back in the day, right? Like that was like my first ever tops and all that, right? I would go in and I'm like, wow, this deck is insane. Like back in Realm of the Gods, like that deck had crazy power level. You're telling me I can potentially deal like 4 to 5 damage on turn 2, and then on my next turn, I'm setting up Jiren Unison into another like double strike threat, and then turn 4, you're just dead. Like that's crazy. And I counter just about everything. The only thing I can lose to is mill. But if I forego my own self mills, you can't even beat me on mill because I am just so much faster than what your deck does. It doesn't matter, right? And that I think that's what it is with the meta. I like the decks that are able to give me a fighting chance, because I have played a lot of rogue decks. I have played a lot of jank stuff. Like I remember I used to play AOD set 4 Lord Slug Leader, like the first Lord Slug Leader, using a green-yellow build with AOD. Like I would just make random stuff off of a whim. I would just build crazy rogue stuff, and I'd go test against my buddies and whatever, and I'd get curve stomped because they're just playing like these meta decks back then and all these stupid things. And I'm like, wow, so like against this I'm great, but against hand control I'm doomed, or against this I'm doomed, or yada yada. And it's like, but these meta decks, the reason they're broken, the reason they're so good is, like, you look at Red Vegeta, right? Okay, so what does Red Vegeta lose to? Nothing. Really.
Very little.
Very little.
Yeah.
It's genuinely skill. Like, it's genuinely, unless you're cheesing me or cheating me, for the most part, you're not beating me on Red Vegeta. Or if you are beating me, I'm literally putting you through the ringer, and you are going through hell to even beat me. Like, I'm making you sweat. You're gonna have a nightmare about it later. Like, then that's what it is, right? These decks, I'll play these because my goal is to win a regional. I've topped enough, but what is the best chance for me to win? Well, the best chance for me to win is to play something that has a fighting chance into everything, because then I can take confidence in myself as a player and go, okay, I know I'm good enough as a player that I can navigate just about every matchup because I play just about every deck, right? I understand what this is doing, what that is doing, yada yada. So I will therefore play what gives me a fighting chance against everything. And then now it's my skill versus your skill. And then that's all it is, right? We go elbows up and we go, all right, ring that bell. Let's see who's got it, you know?
Yeah.
So this past weekend, you didn't play Vegeta. You played Arinsu?
Yes.
And since you only got ninth, I say only, but like, do you regret that?
No.
Do you regret pivoting?
No, I just felt like having a little break. That's all. Like I've been playing Red Vegeta since Nats last year, right? Like I've been playing it for almost a year straight, right? And Arinsu is a very aggressive deck, and as you guys know, I've known it's
The king of aggro.
I've been known to either be a super aggro player or I've been known to stall somehow. I don't know, but
Not stall, not necessarily stall, but control the fuck out of the board where they can't do fuck all.
Listen, man, you put Android 20 in this guy's hands. It's the
Android
worst game
21,
I've
dude.
ever had.
This guy is a menace on Android 21.
Oh my god, I made shorts about it.
But yeah, no,
So-
I don't regret it. The deck is fun. You get to push people down. Like half my games of the regional yesterday, I had my opponents at like 2 or 3 life on turn 2. Like, what are you gonna do? If I have you at 2 life on turn 2, good luck on turn 3, buddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you put players in panic mode who aren't used to playing at
Exactly.
low life early on.
Exactly.
And that creates mistakes. So Austin, pivoting to you, like from your perspective, what do you think? How to get into like that competitive mindset between like a rogue player and like a meta player?
So as a rogue player, you honestly have the advantage in the event being the wild card essentially. Not everybody's going to be prepared against your deck because they're not worried about your deck, right? Depending on what rogue deck you choose to bring to an event and the meta that we're currently in, if your color, like for instance, I won with Lord Slug and he's a yellow deck. People will generically side in yellow hate against yellow Lord Slug, thinking that he'll do yellow generic stuff like negating skills or resting cards. He does none of that. He's all battle tricks, all of that. So most of my advantage from yesterday was catching my opponents off guard. But to that, you can't just be like, the only reason I won is because of catching my opponents off guard. These are really good players. It's not my fault that they don't know what my deck does because that's just preparation. You gotta take into account the wild cards. So the people that choose to bring rogue decks to events, you have that factor of I am going to win on the wild card part of it because people are lazy and don't do a lot of deck testing and just general research into what decks they can run into. So the preparation for a rogue player is really just make sure that you're comfortable going into the event with the deck that you choose, and not only just like know your deck, but you need to make sure that you know the meta decks. Like you need to know how they play, what cards that you play can interact with them, because you playing rogue, you're always playing an uphill battle the entire event, regardless if they don't know what your deck is doing or not, because their decks are really, really good.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So the next question I have is, what with the difficulty of being a rogue player, and you know the difficulties you run into, and being that you played Yellow Slug since it came out, you know, as a pet deck, like, but what prevented you really from playing this in an event until now?
Laziness. I'm a type of player.
Fair enough.
I'm a type of player that doesn't really feel like I need to prove myself, like in a tournament setting, to like show that I'm good at this game. I know that I'm good at this game, but I genuinely just wanted to play Slug in a meta that he's not always fighting the uphill, because a green meta is Slug's worst nightmare. A green and black meta, I would probably never even get top 64 with him. But since we're in a blue meta, like I'm able to deny a lot of their replacement effects. So by my turn 3, we're matching hand sizes. And then if Super Namekian sticks, which most of the time he does until they hit 4 for Dabura, I'm able to swing 30, give them 2 cards in hand, getting them to kill shot, or swing 30 and deny them 5 cards out of hand, and they can't super combo and get any free value that way. It's really, you have to like play perfectly into knowing what they do, what their deck is, what they can do, and what they're about to do.
I think that's the most like taxing thing about being a rogue player is like you have to stay mentally sharp constantly, and I think that's part of the argument of playing something more standard meta, because I don't want to say they're easier to play, but like for the most part, if it's really good, it's usually because it's easier to play, so it's less mentally taxing. I think that's fair to say. Would you both agree with that?
100%.
It's a bit. Yeah, I 80% agree. I'll 80% agree.
I think it's definitely taxing, like just due to the fact that you have to always, like, rogue decks, they don't have as many lenient, like, you can mess up here and you'll be fine. Most rogue decks like 3Han and Slug, for instance, like if I was to mess up any more than I did, I messed up one time against a Masumil, and then he messed up the following turn, and then I was able to somehow salvage that back from not being able to get milled out. And that was literally a choice between, like, I made one oopsie and it cost me the entire tournament. You know, like rogue decks, they're not forgiving if you make any mistakes.
I think that's pretty fair. So for when you're in those this is a question for both of you. When you're in those down times of like training and competing, and you're playing the deck that you know you want to take, and it's just not going well, what helps you stay locked into to like and motivated to play these games?
That's a good question.
Because there's always going to be down times, especially as a rogue player, when everybody's telling you not to play this deck because it's terrible, and you got naysayers in your ears constantly. And then of course when you're learning a deck out and everything, of course you're getting your ass kicked or getting your waffle stomped. So there's going to be downtime. So I have that issue myself. Like and that's part of the reason why I have a hard time sticking with anything. Not because of commitment issues, because like I'm like one of those people who are easy to motivate, but I lose it just as fast as I get it because something goes wrong or I'm just not seeing something. And I myself would love some advice on how to keep that mental game strong.
So it's a really good line of questions, honestly. Like for me as well, I'll be honest, my mental's kind of crap too. Like if I perceive that I'm probably gonna lose, that's it. I'm just gonna will it into existence, right? But it's a tough thing, right? Like the team I'm on, like with DMG and all that, like we have a bunch of top players, regional winners, plural, people who played at Worlds, people who played at Nats, like really, really, really good players, right? And you know, something that always sometimes feels frustrating, but we have to bring it back a level, is practicing can get tough, right? Like it's very hard to get wins with my teammates, like not just me, but like for each other. It's hard to beat each other because we're all very, very strong players. But that's not a bad thing. If our wins and losses are very tough to come by, we're conditioning ourselves. And then what ends up happening is when it comes to game day and you face, you know, average player Joe, you're like, man, this is a cakewalk. Who even cares, right? I'm not worried about round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of a regional. I'm only worried about round 7, right? Unless I'm facing someone who's about as good as me or better than me, only in the rounds in between, that's the only time I'm really like, all right, time to like really hyper focus, right? And I'm not saying I'm not focused, I'm focused, but it's like if I'm facing average Joe, like player A, I'm maybe I'm like 75% focused, right? But when I'm facing like, you know, one of my teammates, or I'm facing someone else who's like better, equal skill level than me, now I'm like, all right, I gotta lock in. I'm at 100%, I'm at 110%, because I know I make one mistake, I'm toast. And that is what has cost me a bunch of chances to win regionals this year and even last year, is genuinely me making one mistake, right? And that's all it takes sometimes. When you're at that level, of gameplay where like the best of the best are facing. Like I'm an upstart. I'm the one trying to go for their throne, right? I have to play perfectly, right? Every time.
Yeah, at those higher levels, it's like one choice, like playing a incorrect super combo. Shouts out to Greenbow Jack back in Gen Con, or making one mistake, especially at those top tables with those high level players. And really, I think personally, there's probably like a good 5% of truly good players in this game. I don't know. Maybe I'm
that number's too low.
Generalizing.
That number's too low. This game overall is a very competitive game. Like, remember, our player base is very small and it's a very tight player base, right? The people who commit to playing this game are people who like playing this game, right? These are people who enjoy playing this game because of the fact that it's difficult, because we can play critically, because we use all our brain cells, right? We're using our neurons, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't a brain dead game. Like, you really have to think and you have to push yourself, right? So I would say honestly, like there's a bigger percentage than that are like really good players, because at the end of the day, just like yesterday, right? Anything can win, right? Anything can win if you put the work in, you put the time in. Anything can win.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're probably right. In perspective, because I couldn't imagine, as much as I would love to see like a several hundred player Dragon Ball Super Masters event. That event would take so fucking long and be so mentally taxing because of how like complex this game is. So, Slug, what have you figured out an answer to that question about the mental grind of a rogue player?
The mental grind of a rogue player, it's just go in with high hopes, man. Just have fun while you're playing the deck that you enjoy. Because if you're bringing a rogue deck into an event, then it must be a deck that you at least like.
Yeah, definitely. Probably for something like an uphill battle like that, you definitely don't want to bring in like a deck you only kind of like, because the moment things start going downhill, you're gonna really start to hate what you're doing. So you might, if it's not going well, you at least playing the deck that you love, right?
Yeah, and you rogue players out there, don't let your friends convince you to play meta if it's not something you're comfortable with. If you feel more comfortable playing your rogue deck, you'll get better results than you would playing a meta deck that you don't feel comfortable playing.
I think that's really fair to say.
I'll add on to that too. Like, personally speaking, I've never topped an event playing a deck I didn't enjoy. But every time I played a deck I've enjoyed, more often than not, I've topped an event. Play what you enjoy, play what you like, right? I've topped with rogue decks and I've topped with meta decks. I like, just have fun with it. At the end of the day, this is a game. You're supposed to enjoy it. If you're not having fun, what are you doing? You're torturing yourself.
For sure. I think people get a little too locked in on the trying to win more than trying to have fun, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing both. They're not, mutually exclusive, but I think people kind of lose themselves in that aspect of the game where they're trying a little too hard and forgetting to have fun. And which ends up leading to shittier results when you see people playing like the best deck in the game and somehow getting like not even top 64 because they just weren't having fun at all. And because I've seen that happen. I think we've all seen that happen. I've seen like red Vegeta players like who aren't even close to the top tables, and it's supposed to be, I think generically speaking, one of the top 5 decks in the game right now. And you think, how is that even possible? But some people, if they're not just enjoying it, they don't understand the deck, they're gonna do worse. And I think that's like the beautiful thing about this game, and with it being an eternal format, there is a deck out there for everybody, and it may not be the tier 1 top best deck in the game, but because of how diverse this game is and how the eternal deck building format, I think you can make anything work, almost anything. I don't think you're doing much with green chilled from, I think, fucking Supreme Rivalry, but if you really love that deck, you could try your ass off, that's for sure. But generally speaking, if it's halfway decent just on its own, I think any real solid player that loves the deck can probably take any deck and at least get top 16, top 32. Well, so I kind of ran out of questions. So Austin, do you have any questions for Beer yourself?
Not necessarily. I think that one of my main questions is, are you looking forward to like finals, and are you going to be playing Dr. Rinsu in the upcoming like meta?
Honestly, I mean, Nats, yeah, I'm definitely excited for. I'm always excited to go to Nats. It's a great time, and it's always great to see my friends. Great to see people I faced before online and in person. Just it's a great time. It's a great vibe, right? Am I gonna play a Rinsu for Nat? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I genuinely don't know what my option is to play Nats, right? Like, there's arguments to just go back to Red Vegeta because it's what I've topped with the most, right? It's a super consistent deck, and I've been super consistent on it, right? Like, if we're only counting regional results this year alone, like in North America, I'm pretty sure I have the most top 8 finishes with Red Vegeta than anybody else this year in North America, at least, right?
Which is very
I
impressive.
think that's true. Very.
Thank you. But so that's obviously always on the table for me, but I don't know, right? There's always we got a month, right? A month is a lot of time, but it's also not a lot of time, right? It's a very short window to really get those games in and figure out, is this the deck? Is there another deck? Maybe there's something else out there, right? Because at the end of the day, when you're going to nationals, you don't know what you're going to face. You're going to face some weird stuff, and you really either need to understand those matchups, or your deck needs to be good enough that, like I said before, it gives you a fighting chance.
I definitely agree, and I think especially with Austin like taking it down this weekend with Yellow Slug, I think there's probably going to be a little bit of a surge of random ass decks out there because he proved the point that you could, if with enough time and training, you could do anything. But I feel like people are also going to be misguided by that too. And I think nationals is always sort of like that, where people always try to bring their pet decks out of nowhere. I mean, I haven't been to a Dragon Ball Nationals event yet since I've been playing. This will be my first one, so hopefully I see you there, Beer. I know you're playing, but I want to be able to meet you in person.
Oh yeah, we'll see each other there for sure.
But I think definitely for sure with the grand scheme of this event, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of rogue tier decks, in the lower rounds, and then that's when it's going to get funneled into the top actually good decks, quote unquote. So I did think of a question while you were talking about like the deck choice. How long does your preliminary testing go before you pick your actual deck you're going to take? And then, because obviously once you pick your deck, that's when the real grind game goes before events. So do you think you give yourself like a week, 2 weeks, and then you figure out the deck? Or like, how does that normally go for you?
I'll be honest, I'm pretty bad at deciding overall. Usually how it goes is I'll see a date for an event, and the month prior, I'm already brainstorming. I'm already thinking. I'm already brewing, right? Every time new cards get revealed, I'm looking at that deck that's getting direct support, and I'm making an updated list, and I'm trying to see how to break that list, right? The moment any deck gets support, I don't care what it is, right? And then I look at it, I'm like, all right, like I need to see how this does against this, how it does against that. And then going from there, I'll figure it out and be like, all right, this has some potential. Let's test it some more. Okay, this isn't it. Okay, let's play this instead. Yada yada. And then from there, I'll just test, right? And I'm very bad at this though. I do a lot of wishy-washy stuff, I'll be honest. But generally, I feel the 2 weeks before an event, you should have the deck you want to play locked in, and you should have like the list kind of figured out. And then the week before, you should be fine tuning your main board and sideboard, right? Determining, yeah, we need this in the main, we need this in the side, and just focus on practicing all the different matchups, trying to focus on sideboarding, seeing what the results differ, this and that, and then you go to game day, right? However, I'm pretty bad at deciding what to play because, unfortunately, like I said, I have a bunch of decks that I build and play, and like, not to toot my own horn, but I am pretty proficient at most decks, right? Like I'm probably like control's probably my weakest point, but like if it's mid range or aggro, things like that, mill, hand control, like I enjoy playing those types of decks, right? So, I can play mostly anything you hand me, no problem. It's just now it's like, well, which one do I play? Which is it? Like, is it this? Is it that? And that's where I always struggle. I don't know, it's me being weird, but realistically, you should have something locked in. I feel 2 weeks prior. Do practice all your matchups, everything, fine tune the week prior, and you should be good to go. And I'm a superstitious guy. I maybe will play 1 or 2 games a day before an event. You will never catch me playing a game of practice the day of the event. I will not play a single game before the event happens. Never.
Don't want to waste those good draws, right?
Mojo, man, it's mojo. I believe in mojo. I believe in bad JoJo. You know what I'm saying? Bad juju.
Yeah, for sure. I have a similar issue to that. Like, I mean, I think anybody who's ever paid attention to the way I post in like the Discord or any Discord, I have the worst head case problem with sticking with any deck ever. And the deck I want, like, I'm always looking for cards for decks, and everybody's asking me what the hell I'm actually playing. One day I just bought cards for Blue Bardock. The next day I'm buying cards for another deck. It's like terrible on my wallet, but I just like building decks in this game because there's so much cool stuff out there. But and I have like the worst commitment issues ever with the deck, even though I know in my heart what I like to play, but I just like to experiment. And I just don't. And of course, I don't even really play enough. There'll be times where I'll buy decks and I never play them. So I have a bad version of your issue.
Hey, trust me, I feel you. Like literally, even this regional, right? I'm like, I don't want to play Vegeta again. I want to play something else. I'm like, do I play Green Gotenks because the promos? Do I play Beerus Ramp? Do I play Janemba Mill? Do I play Gogeta BR because I want to play my Serial Beast on? You know what I mean? And do I play Ape-Ku?
Yeah, there's so much opportunity out there for cool decks.
Yeah.
Austin, do you have like a specific like I don't say training regiment before like when you decide what you're gonna play and then start practicing, or do you just pick something and roll with it?
I usually just pick something. About a week before the event is usually when I finalize my decision, and then during that week I'll go over my sideboard intensively, because that's usually what wins you the game into your bad matchups. Because like going into events, you don't really care about your good matchups, you care about your bad ones, so like you're not really stressed about what they can do to you. So I always focus on my bad matchups, the cards that can help me in those situations, and then what I can sacrifice in my main board in those matchups. Just going over what I would do in hypothetical situations. I'm the same as Beer. I don't play the day prior to events. I think that is a waste of energy. I feel like that's the day for relaxation. Get your mind right so you can wake up fully refreshed for a day of card gaming.
And I think it gives you an opportunity to kind of, I mean, I think all of us have been to fucking Texas way too many times for an event, but it like allows you to like explore the town, like relax with your friends, meet up with everybody, and not have to worry about the stress of playing, because 8 rounds of Dragon Ball is taxing. I know yesterday after the event you were pretty checked out, Austin, on Dragon Ball, even though it was funny because like
I went to
2 hours later I saw you playing Yellow Ape-Ku.
I went to locals and I got 3rd at my locals with Yellow Ape-Ku. Wasn't the best turn like show out, but the 2 packs that I won for prizing, I pulled the SPR of Kiai Cancel for the TN deck and the SLR for Dr. Rinsu.
Maybe it's a sign that you're supposed to play Dr.
No, I ain't touching that deck. I'll go back to 3-Han before that.
Well, 3-Han was like your first real competitive deck, wasn't it?
It was.
I like that deck. It's just, I feel like, what we've talked about before, Austin, is that I am just not good with aggro decks.
Yeah, you're definitely a control player. That's what I've gathered.
I just like to sit back and make everybody else's lives miserable. Mill 2, please. So for you, Beer, specifically, you have gotten so close so many times to winning an event and didn't get it in the end. You always top 8 9 times out of 10. I feel like top 8 is like standard for you. What keeps you really going for that win, to where like you obviously don't have a quitter mentality? I want to know like what keeps you going that hard for that W.
I mean, I just have a desire to win. That's all it is, right? I want to win. I want to be the best. Not for anyone else. I just want to do it for myself, right? I like the game. I like how it plays, and it's the drive, right? Like it's just I don't know. Like I was raised to be a perfectionist when I was younger, right? So if I want to strive to be the best, and if I'm not there, well, I got to keep working on it. That's all it is, right? Go for it.
Do you feel like there's been more times than the most to where you've played perfect but lost to, like, I don't know, the RNG of a card game?
For Red Vegeta, not so much. Like this year, not as much. I would say last year when I was playing, when I topped the 4 times with Nameku, there was definitely games in regionals where like I would just lose to a random Vegito Xeno player, and it wasn't that I played poorly or did wrong lines of play. I would answer everything they did. It's literally just a case of, wow, I didn't draw a dormant. Wow, I needed a dormant here. Or I didn't see a super combo, right? Things like that, right? I feel like it also just depends on the deck you're playing. It's why you also see me playing Red Vegeta more than you see me playing a lot of other decks, because every card in that deck is fire. Every card in that deck is strong, and the leader digs 2 cards every turn, right? Like you're seeing more and more. And Red Z deck is broken, right? So it's, I don't know.
I mean, and I think that's why, like, if you look at the history of like really top tier decks in any card game, really, they're always usually decks that draw a shit ton of cards or cycle a shit ton of cards, because it eliminates that RNG aspect of any kind of card game. Like, you'll never truly get rid of it because you never know what you're going to draw. But like, the more you mitigate that, the better the deck is, I feel.
Yep.
And so, like, I mean, look at Gohan Icarus from way back in the day. Like, that deck drew so many fucking cards, it was stupid. I mean, that deck can stay dead for all I care, but, you know, and like, Yellow Mecha Frieza was the same kind of thing. I mean, just sat there and drew cards and had blue yellow defense for days.
Draw 4 turn 1, basically. That's
yeah,
stupid.
Because it was Unite Assemble, and then it was disgusting.
Yeah.
Because you'd play out that Shapil and then you'd just draw a bunch of cards. And so, obviously, I think that was, and like at that time, I think like on average, good decks were having like 15 card hands, like just average. And now I think we settled out to be like 12.
Well, no, I think hand size has actually gotten higher now than it was before. It's just that,
really,
yeah, it has. So the thing is, like, Mecha Frieza was like Mecha Frieza and Icarus. You have to put an asterisk on them, right? They're a little bit and same with Golden Frieza. Like after those decks got hit, right?
I feel like those are like the outliers.
Those are outliers, right? But there's a reason they were like the best decks, right? Because like when you think about it, right? So Mecha Frieza was, oh yeah, I'll do Unite Assemble, I'll take a life off my leader skill, that's 1 draw to replace the extra card. The extra card is going to draw me 2 cards, and then I'm going to play Basil from my deck. I've taken a 3rd card out of my deck, and then Basil's going to draw me a card, right? I just went hard +4 for 1, right? Like that deck was a crazy exception. And Icarus drew a good amount, right? Like the front side, you couldn't stall the Awaken, draw 1, take a life, draw 2 Awaken, play the skillless draw, combo the skillless draw, right? Like you're seeing like 6 new cards on the Awaken turn, right? But like that's more of an exception, right? I remember like decks usually had like 8 to maybe 12 cards, right? Because also remember, decks were also very aggressive back then. Like you had King Vegeta killing people on turn 2, there's Dark Broly, there was Red Broly BR, KP. Like, there was a lot of very Gogeta Xeno, right? There were decks that were just killing you on, like, turn 2, turn 3 anyways, where, like, you're not even getting a chance to build a 14 or 16 card hand. The only time that might happen was, like, control versus control, where the games were going long. But then they would still just go Fu Shrouded and then just kill you on that turn.
Fuck that card, man.
I miss that card.
I mean, I used to play it because I was a control player, but I mean, that card is AIDS.
I miss it, I'll be honest. I wish it came back. Cards, like games need to end, and that card would have been great.
Well, we were talking about it before, about maybe potentially, like, if they unbanned it, making it an ultimate.
Nah.
Like, it basically an S. But I don't know. I do agree. I think sometimes games with like 2 control decks that have no finishers are just horrendous to play in.
So it's the yellow problem, right? Like right now, yellow is really stupid because mainly most yellow decks that do well are just relying on Gogeta SCR Frieza, And there's a reason for that. It's because, yeah, yellow has great tools. They do have good attackers. They have very efficient lines. But most of their lines of play require them to spend an energy to kill a card, right? I have to spend one of my energy to kill one of your cards. But meanwhile, there's decks like Red Vegeta where I go, oh, I play a dual attacker that will kill 2 cards for 1 energy, right? Or I free play cards, right? So their efficiency is still a little bit behind compared to the other colors, which is fair because it's a control color. But the problem is they go, yeah, we're gonna Gogeta into Freezer, or Gogeta into Absolute Annihilation, into yada yada, into Shadow Dragon Z Extra to rest your energy, and you know all that type of crap, right? And when you think about all that, at the end of the day, yellow used Proof Shrouded, like that. Yellow overall and Soul Striker probably used the Proof Shrouded the best back then. Like they don't have good finishers. Like remember Turles SR was like one of their biggest bombs, and that was just a 20k double striker for 2.
Yeah, like that. You're definitely correct. Like back then, they didn't have finishers. They still kind of have that issue. Like
Yeah,
you said, Gogeta and U7, but like that's just like kind of like a feels bad kind of
yeah,
card finisher. Like obviously, you're just gonna lose the game when those cards come down.
Yep.
But it just fucking sucks dealing with it. But at least with like other finishers, at least like okay, well maybe I have a chance of winning.
yep. Exactly. The only like time I would say like hand size got really stupid though is when like red SS4, because it was a red aggressive deck that was also drawing a lot of cards. Like the deck was consistently having 14 to 16 cards in hand while also pushing your shit in at the same time, and then playing that uninteractive boss monster where it's like you better have Dirty Burst, because if you don't have Dirty Burst, you're toast.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like there was that point in time where like when Red Gogeta and Red Sin came out, and it was just like the triangle matchup, because if you weren't playing
Those are
Gogeta
Gamma.
or Sin, you're playing Gamma, and like I stopped playing for a little bit, not because of that, but just because of life. But like all I ever heard was that was like the worst year of Dragon Ball ever.
I mean, I still had
And
fun.
the fact that those decks lasted fully a year before they banned them is kind of crazy, but I think Bandai was trying its best to not ban a leader because it effectively killed a set almost.
Yeah.
What's left?
BT18
I think
is
the only thing
basically
left in
dead.
that set is like yellow Bardock.
And same with the what's that UI said? It's
BT23.
Oh, Beyond Generation?
no, not Beyond Generation. Oh no, it's the U7 yellow deck.
Yeah, BT23.
Yeah, what was
Perfect
the name of
combination.
that?
Beyond Generation?
Perfect
Oh yeah,
combination.
perfect combination is a
Combination.
pretty dead set right now too.
Was it Perfect Combination? Or was it Perfect Combination? BT19?
I think so.
Yeah, it was BT19, same set as Gohanks.
No, that.
I think
no,
BT19
no.
was BT19 was where 3Han came out with.
Alright,
Yeah,
it wasn't
BT19
BT.
was 3Han.
Yeah, it's BT23.
Yeah, the BT23
BT23
is U7, dude.
Yeah.
That was another time that I wasn't. I think that was around the time I stopped playing. It was like maybe 6 months before I came back.
I hated playing during the U7 meta. That Battle Hour during that meta was terrible. It was Android 21 and U7 Goku.
And Go Hanks.
And Gohanks, yeah.
And go ahead.
And Cooler Mill.
Dude,
I mean, to just prove a point with how broken that U7 deck is, I mean, Sublit is still winning with that deck, and it's been nerfed to oblivion.
He's that guy, though, to be honest.
dude, Sublit
He
is
is that
him.
guy. He is a GOAT, for sure. Do you have, like, just generally, so it's like, you have, like, a brand new player to Dragon Ball, right? I'm putting this hypothetical. And they're wanting to get into the actual competitive scene of Dragon Ball. Do you two have, like, any, like, general advice that you would give this brand new person?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like, my buddy Claudio, I showed him the game back in May, and he came second and got to know. And when he first, like, played the game, like, we actually met each other facing each other in Pokemon, and we were talking this and that, and I'm like, well, I can give you a list for, I gave him a list for yellow U7 Goku, and I gave him a bunch of extra SRs that I had, because I bought a case of that set, right? And, you know, I'm like, here's a good starting point. These are the SCRs I recommend. This is how the deck plays. And I went through with him, showed him how to play the deck properly, and he stuck with it. He's like, damn, this is definitely my playstyle. I like how yellow plays, yada yada, right? And he stuck with it for a bit, and then he tried Vegito Xeno, and like, I know, I just I always gave a guiding hand, and I always tried to give him reps where I could and just show him how things are and go from there, right? And I mean, it paid off like literally in the span of what when Maze like what only in the span of 5 months, homeboy came second in a regional. He was my only loss I got to know. Even he actually beat.
That's awesome.
Which is impressive.
My only advice is I just don't get discouraged when you take a loss, especially if you're new to the game. A lot of people will get discouraged right off the bat when like their friend that's been playing for a while that's teaching them is either steamrolling them. It's important to get a good teacher too, like get somebody who genuinely knows what they're doing to assist you in learning the phasing and the different steps of the card game. But yeah, just don't get discouraged. If you put time and effort into the game, you will show results for sure. Yep.
I think just gonna put my 2 cents in here. I think one thing that I would suggest is definitely find when you're first starting out, like the deck that I would pick is just like the one with the character you like the most. Because you'll at least have fun staring at that dope-ass Goku card or that dope-ass Jiren card or whatever. And then take the time to learn that deck in and out. Because once you understand like how to read cards and how to understand what they do, a lot of those skills are pretty transferable. When you're navigating like a Dragon Ball card for the first time, it looks like gibberish. You don't know what these keywords mean. You don't know how the comma, the colon, all that works. And once you learn a deck inside and out, like I said, it kind of transfers that skill, and then you can start exploring. Obviously, if you're not enjoying the deck like at all, then pivot to something else because you want to find a deck that you enjoy. But definitely learn the deck inside and out. And then I would also truly put yourself in a group of people, like a good play group that isn't, gonna discourage you or talk shit to you because you're losing. Because there is a lot of toxicity in card games in general, not just Dragon Ball. I think Dragon Ball for the most part is one of the better communities out there. I mean, obviously we have our shitters out there, but that's just card games. So find yourself a good play group, find yourself a good teacher, to help you learn these decks inside and out. And the one thing that I need to truly myself need to get over is kind of like when you're learning a deck, when you're learning the game and getting better, is you need to check your ego a little bit. Because ego is what's going to discourage you the most. It's okay to have pride because you want to have pride in yourself. You want to do better, but ego will ultimately get in the way of progression, I think. And I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but I think if your ego gets too big about losing, you're end up going to not learn and not grow as a player.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're not willing to learn from your losses, you're just going to keep losing. Right, you'll never get better. And you will get frustrated, you will get angry, but just take a minute and breathe. Don't quit. We don't want you to quit, but just take a break, if anything. Walk away, and then come back stronger and think about your losses, think about what you did wrong. And shoot, if you have the capability for it, you could record your matches, if you're playing online, and kind of go back over them. Sometimes it's a little boring to watch over old matches. Sometimes it's even cringy because you're going to watch yourself make a mistake. But, that's just that makes learning even easier, because when you're looking at these matches with fresh eyes and fresh perspective, you could see all those little mistakes that you made a lot easier than when you're in the moment staring at your cards. Mm-hmm. And also you get to catch cheating.
Yep.
And you get to catch cheating. That is always the best. Always record your games if you can, especially in online regionals.
Yes.
It came in handy this weekend, we'll say that. Well, I think that's all we have today for you, Biriarr. Do you have any shout-outs you want to make?
I mean, first of all, thank you for having me here. Shout out to both of you. Fantastic hosts. Shout out.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. You're welcome. But yeah, no. Shout out to my teammates. I love them all. They're fucking great guys. They're all fucking homies. And I don't know. I mean, shout out to the local boys. Claudio and James and them. Lucas, Shamar. We had a great time at Got to Know. It was a great time the other weekend. And honestly, I don't know. I mean, shout out to the whole community. You guys are great. We got to keep playing this game and keep teaching new players. This game will never die if we truly just keep playing.
Exactly.
I 100% agree. And one of the biggest things about this game as far as community growth wise is it's really unbelievable to me that it's as small as it is because it has the best IP in any card game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon Ball itself carries, but really it's the difficulty of the game. But yeah, no, I agree. Shouts out to everybody who watches the podcast. Shouts out to the community. Shouts out to you, Beer, for being on here and taking the time out. Pleasure talking to you. Pleasure picking your brain about the competitive mind that you have. I do have one request for you, though. Just one for my little heart. I need to see you play U7 Red Goku again.
I have it built.
Oh, I know you have it
Ready
built.
right now.
That's your favorite deck.
It's literally ready right now.
I want to see. I want to see you can take it to one more event. Just give it one last ride.
Oh, maybe next season. Definitely not right now for nationals, but
Not for now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say do it for nationals because I know you have your issues with it, but I want to see because the support it got seemed. You tell me. I don't know how good it actually
the
is.
support
But it
is
seemed
good. That deck's hand size is just bad. That's all it is. The hand size will always be bad, but I mean, to be honest, I was topping events consistently with the deck with on average of 4 to 6 cards in hand anyways. And now you have maybe an average of 8 to 9 cards now because the support was kind of good in that aspect, but whatever, who cares? If I was good enough, to top 4 multiple events with it with 6 cards in hand, I can definitely do with 8 cards in hand.
I agree
Hell
wholeheartedly, and of course I'm staring at some collector rare Gokus on my desk right now. If you need to bling out the deck too.
I'm good. I got a medal leader for that. Chris Anderson gave me one back then for free.
Oh, fire! Super
As a
fire.
gift. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking out another episode of 3 Wishes Later. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Leave a like on the video and leave any comments down below if you have any questions of yourself, for Beer, or even for Austin about the competitive mindset of Dragon Ball.
Come and join us over in Discord.
Definitely join us in Discord. We have regular, chats, talks. We see people in there all the time. We're trying to get our locals going. Definitely want to grow the community even more. And, as always, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.
Peace.
See you later.